Hi guys, this is Annie and I wanted to talk to you about section 3, the third chapter in How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Again, this isn't the thickest book, but I talk like it's 1,000 pages because such an easy read, it's great information. Now, the chapter of the section today is, if you're wrong, admit it. Ooh. Now, for some people, that can be very, very hard. Extremely difficult and unbearable. And if that's you, it's time to start practicing because and here's I took a few pieces out of this because I wanted y'all to make sure y'all got some good meat from this section. It says, isn't it much easier to listen to self-criticism than to bear condemnation from alien lips? Now, I know most of us are so used to self-criticism and doing that. So that a lot of times is second nature. It's just we have to say it out loud. Hopefully some of you have been working on law of attraction and you've gotten so much better at that you are not self-criticizing yourself all the time. But it's saying it is so much easier to listen to what's already in your head and what you know that you did wrong than to sit there and have to listen to someone else getting on to you or condemning you. It also said it's also a lot more fun than trying to defend yourself. So usually try to think back. And this might not have ever happened to you, but usually when you defend yourself and you're in a defensive position, it's usually a little more hostile on both sides, right? Both wants, just like the previous chapters, both sides wants to prove that they're right, and they dig their heels in and they don't budge, and both people end up unhappy. There was a quick little story about, I believe it was Dale Carnegie, was out walking his dog in the park, and he let his dog off the leash. And there was a police officer that saw him and was getting on to him. And the first time this happened, Dale said, I thought he'd be okay because he's small and he probably wouldn't hurt anybody. And the police officer was very upset. Okay, so he went into defensive mode. So the police officer talked about the law and how next time he'll throw the law on him and it'll be very bad and all this bad stuff can happen. So the next time, Dale, I guess, did it again. And he saw the police officer and he was like, oh man, this is going to be bad. So before the police officer could even get a word in, he said, I know you told me last time that this shouldn't happen and I'm so sorry. And he could have killed a squirrel and just going on and on to where the police officer didn't really have to say much and actually ended up going, whoa, you're probably taking this a little too seriously. So the police officer ended up taking a position of mercy because Dale was already emphatic about his mess up and what happened and what he shouldn't have done and all that stuff. So it was an interesting